in the QBO gym, and this is where we have numerous hands-on exercises that simulate real-life scenarios that you may encounter as a bookkeeper. Each month covers a variety of new topics and scenarios, and to make it a little bit easier for you each month, we break it down into 4 different sections. So if you are looking to work on your bookkeeping skills, this is the place for you. And if you want to do an entire month's worth of these all on your own, be sure to join our free 5-day bookkeeping challenge. All you need to do is click on the link in the description. But let's get into today's exercise, which is coming from our July Year 1 cool down section. At the top here is an animated video to give you an understanding of what you, the bookkeeper, will be doing for your client Craig this month. Below that is an interactive pre-assessment quiz that relates to the video above. Below that are the exercises in this section. And at the bottom here is an optional area where after you have gone through all of the exercises and completed them, the ones in this section, you will unlock some sample marketing posts that you can use on your LinkedIn to share with everyone what you have learned so far. Let's dive into today's exercise, though, where we're going to practice running Craig's reports. Go ahead and click on that link to have the exercise pulled up for you. I have it over here on the right side of my screen, so let's read through the scenario. Now that you have reconciled your bank statements, it's time to run reports. Craig would like you to create separate P&L or profit and loss and balance sheets for each location, and he wants to know if you can break them out by commercial versus residential as well. You will need to be in the same session of the sample company that you did the previous exercises in. If you have not completed those exercises yet, go ahead and click on the link on the top right corner of your screen. That'll take you to the first one, complete that one and all the ones after it until you get back to this one. They all build on each other, so it's really important to start with that first one. I have the sample company pulled up here on the left side of my screen. This is the last page that I left off of from the previous exercise. So let's go ahead and get started with this exercise. Let's start by creating the P&L or profit and loss report for Craig. QBO already provides a report that is profit and loss by location. So let's go ahead and start there. We're going to click on reports from the left navigation bar, which is over here. It's about halfway down. Go ahead and click on that and you will get to the reporting center. Now we want to look for the profit and loss by location. So if I scroll down into this business overview section, you will see the profit and loss by location is this report right here. Go ahead and click on it. And when you do, it is automatically going to run for you. Now, in a real life scenario, you would probably want to run this for the month or year to date, which is the default right now. But because we are working in the sample company, you are going to want to select all dates so that we have as much data as possible to work with here. So in that report period field, we want to select all dates. That is right here. Click into that and it's the first one right there on that list. And then we want to go ahead and run the report again. That is this white button right there. Go ahead and click on it. And now all dates are showing for this particular report. Now this resulting report shows a column for East location and a column for not specified. If you remember early on, we made the decision to not provide a location for all of the transactions. We decided that if it wasn't specified on that transaction, that it just automatically meant that it was the main office. But the result of this decision is this not specified column. If you actually wanted it to say main for the main office, you would have to create that as a location and then use that reclassify tool to change all the transactions without a location to main in the same way that we had changed several transactions to East. But Craig didn't ask for a P&L with both locations. He asked for 2 separate ones. So how can we do that? First thing we need to do is click on Customize. So if I scroll back to the top here, there is this button that says Customize. Click on that, and you will get this pop out to show for us. Now, to only select one location, we need to use a filter. A filter means that we only are wanting to look at part of all the data. So in this case, we just want to look at the East location. So go ahead and click on the arrow to expand the options. That's right here. Go ahead and click on that. In the location field, we want to click on the checkbox next to East. So here is location. Click into that drop down and then click on the checkbox next to East. Now we want to go ahead and click on Run Report. So once again, it is now being updated and run for us. And this report is only showing East transactions, but there is another problem. There are two identical columns here in this report, one that says East and one that says total. We don't need both of them. It's a bit repetitive. So let's go ahead and fix this. Let's go back to that Customize button. Scroll back here, click on Customize, and then in the columns field, we want to select Total Only. So columns is right here, click that down arrow, and then Total Only is that first one there. Go ahead and click on that, and then once again, click on Run Report. Now this is better. We're not having two columns that are identical, but there is no indication that this is for the East location. It is just showing as profit and loss by location. So let's go ahead and update the report title by replacing by location with East. All you need to do is click on this and then go ahead and delete that by location and replace it with East. If you click out of it, you will see that it has been updated for us. Now at this point, you could save this as a customized report so you wouldn't have to rebuild it each time for Craig. You could also send it to him. At this point, we're not going to be doing it for these, either one of these in this exercise, but just to show you how you would do it, you would click on Save Customization if you wanted to save this as a customized report and then follow the prompts. And then if you wanted to send it to Craig, you could either email, print, or you could actually export it to an Excel or PDF at that point and then send it off to Craig. Now we need the identical report except for the main location. Remember, the main location is all the transactions that have a location that is not specified. So let's click on that Customize button once again. So there it is, click on that. And then in the location field, this time we're going to select not specified. So click that down arrow and then click on not specified. And then we're going to click on run report to have it updated for us. Once again, we need to update that report title and this time replacing East with Main. So click into that area right there to have it editable, delete East and type Main. Whoops, if I can spell Main correctly. There we go. Click out of it and you will see it has been updated and saved now. Again, at this point, you could now save it as a customized report so you don't have to rebuild it each time for Craig, and then you can send it to him as well using the same steps that I showed you earlier. All right, so moving on, Craig asked you if he could see commercial versus residential for each of these reports as well. So let's see how to do that. Once again, we're going to click on that Customize button. So let me scroll up here. Scroll to the top, click on Customize. In the Columns field, we want to select Classes. So click that down arrow in that columns field. Click the down arrow and then go ahead and select Classes, and then once again select Run Report. Now you'll notice that this report has a not specified column. Remember that although we added classes to income transactions, those invoices and sales receipts, we didn't add them to expenses due to things like overhead or discounts, which is what the negative numbers on this report mean. If you do not want to see a not specified column, you have to create a class that would capture overhead and other transactions that don't neatly fall into commercial or residential categories. So just keep in mind that's what this third column is showing, is representing here on this report. Now, the last thing that we need to do is duplicate the same report for the East location. So do you remember how to do this? Let's go ahead and I'll walk you through it. Feel free to pause the video if you want to try it on your own and then come back and watch it again, or just follow along with me now. So I'm going to click on Customize. And then in the location field, I want to change this to East so that we're seeing East. and then clicking on Run Report. And now I am only seeing the amount or the ones for the East. If I click into this and I delete Maine and type East, now the report is finalized and it is representing the East location, showing the location and then broken down into classes. Now you'll note that you'll see here that there's only commercial here and then this not specified, and that's because the East location does not have any residential transactions, which is why that column is not appearing here for you. But that's how you would customize that report for classes and locations based on what Craig was asking for. Oops, there you go. All right, so now Craig, he also asked you to break out the balance sheet by location and residential versus commercial. This is not possible, unfortunately. It is only the income and expense transactions that are tracked by location and class. Therefore, they only appear on the profit and loss report. The balance sheet simply reflects the totals in all accounts. The only way for Craig to track this level of detail would be to maintain separate bank accounts and separate accounts in the chart of accounts for each. This would be extraordinarily burdensome. And if he was particularly insistent, you might encourage him to get separate QBO accounts for each aspect of his business. But let's go and see how you would actually run that balance sheet. So let's go back to the report center by clicking on back to report list. So if I scroll up to the top here, there is this back to report list wording. Click on that. You could have also just clicked on reports again here on the left side or on the left navigation bar to get back to this main reporting center page. Now let's go ahead and click on balance sheet. That is in the favorites. It's also here in this business overview section. So go ahead and click on it. And when you do, it's automatically going to be run for you. But let's go ahead and change this date period to all dates so we can see all the data. So in that report period field, it is right here. Click the down arrow, select all dates. And then we're going to run that report once again. We scroll over here, click run report. And there we go. We are now seeing the balance sheet for all of the dates. Of course, you may want to just have it for a specific date, not having all your data here. It's more for the purposes of this exercise so that we can see everything, all the possible data here in the sample company here on this balance sheet. That's it. That is how you would run and customize reports. Now, if you like this exercise and you'd like to do more like it, be sure to join our free 5-day bookkeeping challenge. All you need to do is click on the link in the description. We have finished the July issue of the QBO Gym. Congratulations, you did a great job. Keep on practicing and be on the lookout for our August issue. And I will see you then.